This is Diana speaking, your word. I know you are the energy back of all life. You are the other, another, sister, brother, beloved other. Everyone. I know, God, you beat my very heart and inhabit my soul. You press against me. You express through me. You caress my cheeks with wind. I believe we are all connected. And knowing this, bless our gathering, our learning, our journey into now, together, today. I'm so grateful for Reverend Ann's passion. Let us hear what is ours to hear and let go what is not ours. I bless the gathering in joy. Amen. And so it is, and so it be.
And so it is. Good morning, everyone. Here we go. That was for Scott. All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Denise Forlizzi, and it's my pleasure to welcome everybody today. It's awesome. We've got a nice full house here, even amidst the snow. It's the flurries. It's so exciting. Just when we think we're done, we're just not. Right? So it's a pleasure to welcome everyone, and welcome to Everyday Center for Spiritual Living, where we empower each other to live joy-filled lives every day. That's right. Okay, so are there any first-time visitors, someone that hasn't been here in a long time? Yes. What's your name? Joanne. Hi, Joanne. You from Santa Fe? No. Awesome. Well, we're glad you're checking this out. So welcome. How about anyone else? Hello.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jill's new. Okay, we got 2 J's going. What else do we have here? All right. Is that it? Anyone have a?
I see one more. I just want to say hi to Nova back there. Hi, Nova.
Oh, hey, Nova. Nova just slid down the sofa when she was called. All right. Anyone have a celebration or anything they'd love to share with us so that we can support you in hoorays? Yes, Bill.
I'd like to thank everybody for their support during my recovery.
All right. Bill's thanking all of us for our support and the well wishes as he's gone through his recuperation. And he's doing so well. It's awesome. Anyone else? Celebrations, Reverend Ann?
Yes, I am very grateful and celebrating that my stepmother is home from the hospital and on the mend.
Sally is home from the hospital and on the mend. And again, we just appreciate all the practitioner prayers around Sally as well. Yes, Stephen.
On March 21st, my son was 52.
Stephen's son was 25 or 52, depending on how you look at it. Anyone else have a celebration or something this one you just want to tell us? Hi, Patty.
I do, because yesterday was my husband's anniversary of passing.
Oh.
And we celebrate him. We celebrate him all the time, but we go out to dinner at his favorite place when it's that time.
All right. Well, we celebrate with you. Yes. We celebrate Patty's husband's passing anniversary was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Martha.
I had a wonderful meal with my daughter and granddaughter last night. It was excellent.
Martha was able to visit her
Since I've seen my
daughter and granddaughter who she hasn't seen in a while, and just had some great food on top of it all.
Yes.
So that's a reason for celebration. Hi.
I
Jill.
have a celebration.
Yes.
On March 15th, I turned 80.
Woo! March 15th, Jill turned a strong 80.
Snowing.
And the snow. All right. And I'm going to celebrate in advance Reverend Ann's safe travels and successful board retreat as she goes to Oklahoma City to be with Linda Wickian and her church in Oklahoma City over this next week. Anyone else? Okay, well, let's sing about it.
We celebrate you, we celebrate you, we celebrate you, we celebrate you, we celebrate you.
All right, so let's seal the deal. Get up and greet everyone and say, hey, we're glad you're here today.
Hi, Patty. I know,
So I'm good for those 2 days.
That's a great thing.
Yeah,
Good.
overheated for yes, it's really
Jack.
it's like a jacket.
All right, everyone. It's so fun to bring in the light here today with the snow, and so we can continue our visits after service. All right, everyone, here we go. I have a few announcements, so please face forward and, ears forward, because there's some, really new information in here. So, check your email for an important announcement about our upcoming annual meeting that will be held on April the 30th. It's very important that as many members as can be here to know about the state of the center, and we elect 2 new board members. And so, speaking of that, if anyone is interested in being on the board, please see Reverend Ann or Jackie to discuss what that means, because sometimes you just don't know. We only meet once a month. That's a good thing. All right, and May 7th, the week before Mother's Day. Maybe just wait on your gift buying for your moms or those people that you buy gifts for, because we're gonna have our jewelry sale, our infamous jewelry sale, and that's been we've been trudging it along with us for a while, but we are actually going to have it May 7th, and not only that, but we're going to have a pie auction. So we're very excited about that. It's a great fundraiser, and we'd love as many people as can to be here, buy some jewelry. We've got some really vintage things. We've got some fun things, and it'll just be a wonderful time to do that. Yeah, bring some jewelry, bring some pies. I mean, really, it's just the more tell your friends, the more the merrier for sure. So we'll have more data about that coming up, but May 7th. Okay. Just giving forms are available at the super snack table in the back of the room. Your commitment to support our center, the Everyday Center, and our ministry enables us to continue to flourish and grow. So, and while you're there, if you want to bring snacks next week, put your name on the list. It's a great way to just, give. It's a great way to participate in that way. Today's practitioners on duty are Diana Lee online on the Zoom call, and I think Patty Berry is here as the practitioner in the room. So, Mark, plan to ask for prayer because it's a wonderful couple minutes a gift that you can give yourself and feel the support of not only the practitioner you're speaking to, but then they put a prayer request in the box, and there's prayer requests out on the table that we end up praying for all week. And honestly, our group is quite amazing with some wonderful demonstrations. So put anything you want in there. It's the God box. We'll pray on it, and we can't wait to hear your demonstrations. Next week, we have a really special guest speaker. As I mentioned, Reverend Ann will be in Oklahoma City. So our own practitioner, Carol Rose, will be speaking next Sunday, and special music is Suzanne Tang and Gilbert Levy. And I know we've had them here before, so we really enjoyed their offering. So plan to be here next Sunday. I believe that's it, and I know that Jackie's up in a moment to do our 4 directions, but Joseph is going to play us in.
And has a special announcement.
And I also have an
And
announcement.
has a special announcement. Stay tuned.
This evening, there's a touring singer. Her name is Mirabai Moon, and she leads chanting and kirtan, and she'll be singing at 6 p.m. at the Santa Fe Community Yoga Center. I'll be part of her supporting band, and there's more information on the table in back. There's a flyer, but it's the only flyer I have, so just look at it, and if you are interested, copy on the information. Wait, here's... I am abundant, I am beautiful, I am kindness, I am love, I am creative, I am expressive, I'm receptive, I am one, I am one within all, I am all within one, I am one within all. I am all within one. I am abundant, I am beautiful. I am kindness, I am love. I am creative, I am expansive, I'm receptive. I am one. I am one within all. I am all within one. I am one within all. I am all within one. I am one within all. I am all within one. I am one within all. I am all within one.
There are a lot of copies. We have the 4 directions in many different versions. And I'm going to read 4 Directions and Stages of Life in Tibetan Buddhism. Please stand if you are able and face east. East, the place of the rising sun, the dawn of a new day and springtime. It is all about newness, fresh starts, and the shining of light in places where there was once darkness. In the East, we see things in the light of a new day. Illumination and inspiration all rise from the East, as does the element of air and the bird tribes. East relates to childhood. Its architect is the teacher. Please take a deep breath, and as you exhale, turn to your right. South, high noon, summertime, and the element of fire. It is here that we learn the art of celebration, innocence, and travel. We dance our dance, sing our song, and share our existence with others. In the East, we gained insight and understanding into our lives. In the South, we share that understanding. It is here we learn the lessons of the heart, the full, clear, open, and strong heart. Coyote lives there. The South relates to early adulthood. Its archetype is the visionary. Please take a deep breath and exhaling, turn to your right. West correlates to the dusk, autumn, and the element of water. West is the looking within place. Now it is time for looking into the patterns we carry that must be let go of in order to become who we truly are. This is the lesson of the autumn trees who drop their leaves to nourish the earth once again. This is usually a time of great emotion, slowing down, and gathering ourselves for the winter ahead. Bear and crow reside in the West, along with all our ancestors. The West relates to adulthood or middle age. Its archetype is the healer. Please take a deep breath. Exhaling, turn to your right. The final turn of the wheel of life is to the north. The night, winter, and the element of earth. The north is the place of no thingness, where we return to the great mystery to receive our vision, which we will ignite in the east. North is the place of the 3 dreams, the daydream, the night dream, and the life dream. This is the time when we are to dream deep and wide for the vision of our life purpose and who we truly are. Deep, ancient elders and wise ones live in the north, but we must be able to empty ourselves to receive their vision. It is the place of the owl and other nocturnal animals. North relates to elderhood. Its archetype is the warrior. Please take a deep breath and turn to face the center aisle or your screen. Close your eyes and place your hands over your heart. Quiet your mind and feel these words within the core of your being. Now, open your eyes, and as you see with the eyes of spirit, see spirit looking back at you. Thank you, and namaste.
Hi, I'm Reverend Diana Lee, and the reading today comes from, I'm in Pasadena, California. The reading today comes from this book, Convergence Healing, Healing Pain with Energetic Love. It's by our dear friend practitioner Peter Bedard, MACHT, with Brian Hunt. Love letters to your pain, exercise. Every day for 4 days, I want you to write a love letter to your pain. These letters should detail all the things you love about your pain. To do this, simply take the most prominent features of your pain and flip them on their heads. To elaborate, there was a client I treated, whom I will call Carrie. Carrie suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome. For her, one of the worst symptoms was this illness was vertigo. Carrie became so debilitated by this that she was bedridden for days at a time. Usually, Carrie never discussed her vertigo with anyone because it made her feel ashamed. She became like a powerless child again. Her mother even once accused her of filching the symptoms from the classic Alfred Hitchcock film. In her love letters to her pain, Carrie addressed her vertigo directly, saying that without it, she would not have had such a keen appreciation for the days when she was upright. In another letter, she thanked her vertigo for making her bedridden, so that she was able to study and complete her master's degree a semester early. In a third love letter, Carrie told her vertigo that she was very grateful for its visits, but it was now time to go. In the last, she continued to tell her vertigo that she loved it and even created a list of all the ways she could continue to love it with gratitude for how it had served her in the past. Within a few days of writing these 4 love letters, Carrie's vertigo went into remission. She was able to leave her bed. Today, Carrie is living proof of the application of energetic love can heal. Try writing your pain. The love letters need to receive. Try writing down your pain. The love letters your pain needs to receive. And allow the healing to begin. Our affirmation today is from Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. After me. As soon as you trust yourself, I will know how to live. Blessings.
Good morning, I'm Joseph Salek, and this morning I'm delighted and excited to be playing music with Izolo and Scott Geister. They've been contributing their musical artistry to the Everyday Center for many years, and they're both also involved in musical activities in the community, be with the Santa Fe Symphony Chorus, and Scott with his band Ukes 101, that plays probably 8 to 10 times a month at senior living centers and assisted living. They both are wonderful musicians, have beautiful voices, and it's a delight to have them with us this morning. Please join me in welcoming Scott and Dee.
Wow, thank you so much. Thanks so much. Jeez. It's really nice to be here, to see everybody, always to receive such a warm welcome from you all. Really appreciate it. So we're going to sing this song called Let There Be Love. It's the word, we're singing in Hebrew, part of the song. It's called Hashkivenu. It's a petitionary prayer to be able to lie down in peace and to wake the following day and to live in peace. And we thought, you know, Scott introduced this song, or Joseph introduced this song to Scott and I, and we really appealed to us. And to sing in a synagogue this song, we just wanted to honor it. So this is Let There Be Light.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Oh, thank you. This morning has already given so many gifts, hasn't it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm trying. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And Scott could just go. Good morning, every day.
Good morning, Reverend Ann.
What a surprise this morning has already been. I may be the only person on earth that didn't know it was going to snow, but that's not unusual because, you know, the weather isn't always right. Whatever my source is, the weather isn't always right. And so I just kind of go with what I see.
And it was blue sky and sunshine, and the trees were filled with birds just singing their heads off this morning. And I went with that. That's not such a bad way. But then it, of course, snowed, and it's beautiful. And it's a beautiful day to have all of you here. I'm Reverend Ann Ray, and I am I'm a little silly about how I feel about our community, our family, our spiritual teaching. And I say I'm silly because I'm always excited to share it. I'm always excited to hear your questions and try to give you understandable answers. And I'm always excited. And I'm always excited about having the privilege of serving with you as your senior minister. Thank you very much. So today we're wrapping up. We're putting a bow on a month that we have spent exploring scientific prayer. What that means, how it happens, what it does, how it works. And I may have switched those two. And today, since I had an extra Sunday to work with, because the teaching that I was expressly working with from Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind text is 4 chapters. Well, this was a 5 Sunday month. What was I to do with that? So I had to think on that, and it occurred to me that since I'm talking about science, not all scientists, we can't lump them all together, but many scientists, what do they count on if they are going to bring forward a new idea, a new theorem? What do they count on?
Repetition.
Okay.
Proof.
Who said proof? Repetition as well, because it has to keep doing what it's doing, right? Whatever the it is, it has to keep behaving the same. So repetition is a very important piece. And repetition is included in proof because they have to be able to prove it. They have to have evidence that it works. So the question crossed my mind, if we're talking about scientific prayer, and I'm saying all of these brilliant things about what it is and how it works and all of that, what evidence do we have? Because to call it scientific without evidence, now again, I'll repeat, not all schools of science count on evidence. They have other ways of discerning the efficacy. The efficacy of what they're teaching, of what they're bringing forward, right? But evidence tends to be very important to most of us. Show me. Show me. Show me that it works, and then I'll believe it. Show me is about evidence. And it's very interesting to me. You know, and I've been studying, good morning everybody on Zoom and on Facebook Live. Hi, I didn't mean to miss saying hi to everybody. Good morning. See, I told you I am excited. What can I say? Anyway, it fascinates me that as long as I've been studying this teaching, which is more than 5 minutes, how many people are fascinated, are enthralled by, are seduced by, are engaged in gathering evidence for the opposite of what it is that they believe. Or what? The coach from the first row contributed just now. The opposite. We're really good at it. Well, it didn't happen this time. I'll use an example that happened just this morning. So I told you all in our sharing, in our celebration sharing, that my stepmother had just gotten out of the hospital after this horrific ordeal and was healing at home and very happy to be home. And the whole time that she was in the hospital, that she felt like talking at all, she was praising everyone that was taking care of her. Every single person was extraordinary. Every single person took care of her in ways that she never imagined. And she was so grateful. Well, I don't know which one of those people, or if it was a singular person that wasn't one of those people, but somebody told her, because they weighed her while she was still in bed, somebody told her at some point in this whole ordeal that she had not lost any weight. So she got home and she weighed herself. And she had lost 11 pounds. And the text I received from her, I'm not even kidding, began with, "They lied to me." Now, the praises that she had been heaping on these people, the gratitude that she had felt for the entire staff, and everything they did was so extraordinary and made her feel so cared for. And her very first line this morning was, "They lied to me." That is a very clear example. Matt, I can't see you.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. And there's Brent. It's a good example of how we can toss away the evidence, the proof, the repetition of something good for something other. Just toss it away. Well, she and I will have a conversation about that later, but we need, all of us. I'm not shitting on you. That word was should. I'm just reminding us how important it is to at least equally, listen to these words now, at least equally observe the good. Now, the reading that Reverend Diana Lee shared with us this morning was perfect.
Yeah.
Who in the world, in their right mind, would think of writing a love letter to their pain? Because pain hurts. It's uncomfortable. It takes us out of the game sometimes. Where we are in a state for whatever reason where we can't even do for ourselves what we would normally do. And when we're in pain, it isn't so easy to remember when we weren't. And yet, that's one of the most valuable things we can do. That in itself is a prayer. Because it isn't taking what we're experiencing as pain and saying, well, I'm going to ignore you and just think about when I felt well. Fat chance that'll work. It won't. It's just evening our attention and our ability to remember to choose. Part of the healing process of scientific prayer is our remembering to choose to be well, to choose to make the most of the days that we feel well or the moments that we feel well, to choose to do those things and engage with those people that actually feed our wellness, who aren't so interested maybe in, getting with us on the, oh my God, ain't it awful, poor me train. And I'm not saying it's not awful. So let me tell you a story on me. A very recent story about myself. As most of you know, I had both hips replaced within a year. Exactly, Pippa. I know, I maybe should have given that a little other thought, but I had both hips replaced within a year. And that story, that part of the story in and of itself isn't so interesting, because what really is interesting is that I probably waited a couple of years too long to have the first one done. So when I say a couple of years too long, I mean I'd already waited like 4 or 5, and then I added on a couple more, to the point where I really couldn't walk without great pain and difficulty. By the time, now I'm not going to tell you why I put it off. I'm not going to tell you that whole story, because it is a whole story all by itself. I really thought I could pray myself out of it. I'll just say that. And that is what we call spiritual arrogance. But anyway, someday I'll talk about that. So I decided to have the surgery, and then after I'd had the first one, I realized I wasn't going to wait that long for the second one, and so I had the second one. But by the time I had the first one, I knew, not knew, I didn't know in my deepest self, I didn't know with my heart of hearts, I didn't know with all of the spiritual fibers of my being, I knew that I would never feel like myself again. I'd never have that much energy. I would never have that much stamina. You know, and I'm kind of, you know, I'm kind of like the Energizer Bunny. I was sort of born that way, and those days were over. The best I could do was the best I could do, and that would have to be enough. So a few weeks ago now, I think like a month ago, somebody was coming to the front door after we had already locked it, because that's part of our agreement with the synagogue, is that we lock the doors after 15 minutes. And no one else, I think we were in the middle of 4 directions or something, and no one else could see they were coming. And so I went from like here, from the front of the sanctuary, I boogied to the back of the sanctuary and went and opened the door and let them in. I didn't run, but you know, I was making pretty good time. And I got back to my seat up here and I realized, well, that was pretty good. Because a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I was still walking with a cane. And I was still on a lot of medication, not drugs. I can't do drugs because they don't like me, which is just fine. But a lot of ibuprofen, a lot of blah, blah, blah. And I didn't, when I got up to talk, I didn't have difficulty getting out of my chair. I didn't have to hold on with both hands. I didn't have to sort of gently make my way up here and pretend to be all better. I was all better. I am all better. Now, I've had a lot of help getting there. A lot of prayer support, a lot of physical support, a lot of people who wouldn't give up on the idea that however long it took, that there would be a day when every symptom would be gone. And so it is. And the reason that I'm sharing this with you, thank you for the applause. The reason that I'm sharing this with you is because, Joseph, oh, thank you. Because it's important to remember both things. It's important to give our pain the attention that it needs, to give it the support that it needs, to give it the love that it needs, to call the practitioners or contact one, and then it'll go out to everybody and say, as Bill did, I can use some help with this. I can use your support. I can use your belief, because knowing I can lean on your belief that my healing is going well and very well because I'm already whole, It's important to remember the whole thing, all the parts. And it's brilliant to write a love letter to our pain. That's a brilliant idea. Our pain, I don't care how you research this, but our pain is information. It's telling us something that we haven't been able to get the message about any other way. Now, no matter how many times we've heard somebody say to us, don't you think you ought to slow down? You know, and maybe get a little more rest. How are you sleeping? Well, you know, I grab what I can, and I have all these responsibilities, and I have all these things I have to get done, and and who is going to do them if you're not here to do it? Because we have nothing to show up with except our best offer in the moment. And if we're exhausted, if we're not getting enough sleep, if we are overcommitting, and I know nobody in this room does that, then is it any wonder when the 10th person asks us to do something, and fortunately we're on the phone, we're not in person, because on this side of the phone we're going, oh, okay, I'll do that. That is not gathering the evidence that we want to gather. In fact, it's not even paying attention to the evidence we have. Our bodies are brilliant. Brilliant, magnificent, incredible, unbelievable works of art. And they talk to us in lots of ways, sometimes through pain, because we haven't been listening otherwise. You know, when I thought that I could avoid hip surgery, my body had to scream at me to get my attention. And I'm smarter than that. Or at least I thought I was. Because it would come and go. The pain would come and go. In intensity or at all, it would just kind of come and go. And so I figured out by my own self that since it went sometimes, maybe I could just keep it gone. But no. It did that to give me a break, so that at least I could do my job. But I couldn't necessarily do much else. And that was also evidence. You know, everybody thinks that practitioners have got it all wrapped up. Well, if you think practitioners have got it all wrapped up, then you must absolutely believe. I mean, there is a law about this. You must absolutely believe that ministers have it all wrapped up. Well, I don't know what it is that we have all wrapped up exactly. What I can tell you is that if we're not paying attention, if our behavior and our choices, talking about me, are not in alignment with what I say I believe, then how do I think that's going to work out? So let me back you up to the basics for just a second. Because even though I don't want to, I got to put a bow on this. There is one life. There is one power. There is one presence. It is my life now. It is our life now. It is all life now. Exactly. And we are one. Not just with each other, but with everybody and everything. And some everybody's look like trees. And some everybody's look like red-headed sparrows. And some everybody's look like Scott. There is no other. There is no other. And this one that we are, whether we feel it or not, whether in this moment we believe it or not, well, it is. And we are. And there you go. So, if we're getting information, mine tends to happen through downloads. If I'm getting information through pain, boy, do I know that I have missed the mark. Because I don't want to hear pain talking to me. Because I've already been hit with a 2x4 somewhere along the way. But my body will yell at me through pain to say, too much. Too much. Back off. Go see somebody. Do something that is in alignment with what you say you believe. Go see someone who can reflect back to you the truth of who you are. No matter what we think about Western medicine, and there may be some of us in this room, I don't know what you think about Western medicine or Eastern medicine or any medicine. I have no idea. But there are ways to find someone, the right someone for us, who will look at us and see us whole. They won't be looking at us looking for trouble. They will look at us and see us whole. And what they'll want to know is how they're going to help us see us whole. Exactly, Pippa. I love, oh, and she's carrying her little sippy today. Wow. It's amazing to watch babies grow. It's amazing to watch us grow into a new awareness of what real proof looks like, of what the activity of the divine looks like, of what a holy yes looks like. I will miss you all next week. It's, I really feel quite honored to be asked to travel to Lynn's church and
and conduct, facilitate her leadership retreat and then speak the next day. The last time that I facilitated a leadership retreat for her was her very first. For those of you who know Lynn Nowicki. And it was during COVID and we did it on Zoom. And so it will be a great joy, a special joy, to be there in person, representing every day. And so it is.
And so it is.
So we're gonna do a song of mine called Planting Seeds. This is a springtime song, and he and Scott do a beautiful job with the song. I'm so glad to hear them singing this song.
Touching seeds of joy within, I can rise above the dead and nourish myself
With joy each day, I know how to look and see. All of us can really be understanding, compassionate and loving, nourish seeds of joy, plant seeds of love. I am growing towards a light above, nourishing seeds of love and joy. I am nourishing seeds of love and joy.
May we all be peaceful. May we all be happy and light in body and mind.
Light in body, light in mind. May we all be safe and free, free from states of mind that constrict and restrict. May our beings be safe and free, nourish seeds of joy, plant seeds of love. We are growing towards the light above, nourish seeds of joy, plant seeds of love. We are growing towards the light above, nourishing seeds of love and joy. We are nourishing seeds of love and joy. May all beings be safe and free. May all beings be happy.
dance with me sometime.
How can you sit there? Oh my gosh. Great. New song, Joseph. Great.
Yeah.
And in the perfect hands.
Yes.
Thank you, B and Scott. I'm not calling up the ushers just yet. So everybody can just, let it rest for another minute. Exactly. It occurs to me that not everybody knows exactly how church works. And, we are going to be stepping into our sacred time of conscious giving. And before we do that, I just thought I would give what might be a welcome understanding. I would share with you what might be a welcome understanding or a different understanding about how church works. So what do I mean about how church works? Because you show up on Sunday and you see how church works, right? Well, you see about this much about how church works. But you all get what you came for, I hope.
Yes.
So how do you think that getting what you came for happened? Not all of us are from faith traditions from the past. But if we are from faith traditions from the past, then what we're accustomed to is one of the following. A synagogue, possibly where there's a membership. And there are tickets that you buy to attend holy days. At other faith traditions, there are commitments that you make. So what's different about our commitment form? Well, the difference is that the commitments that are made in other centers have an expectation behind them. It's almost like a membership fee, where you pay so much every year, plus whatever you feel like contributing, hopefully on a weekly basis, because it's talked about a lot. And much of the church structure, in terms of its business, has outside support.
Yeah.
And what do I mean by outside support? I mean that there is a mother church, regardless of the tradition, that funds certain things, like the pastor's salary, like the rent, if there is rent, or the mortgage, if there is a mortgage, etc. You get the idea. Well, a center for spiritual living, a spiritual center, is also a business. If you didn't know, it's also a business. The difference is that even though we have a home office in Golden, Colorado, we contribute to it.
there's nothing coming downhill. There are classes, there's a lot of other kinds of support. I'm not saying that we aren't supported by home office. What I'm saying is it does not include financial support. So every single center like this one, no matter where it is in the world, is self-funding. And what does self-funding mean? You're the self. I'm the self. Oh, that reminds me, I left my checkbook at home. But we're the selves that fund the business of the center. You know, if we didn't have a business aspect, we wouldn't need a board of trustees. Because the whole purpose of the board of trustees is what is called a fiduciary purpose. And what's that mean? That means that they keep an eye on the money. Where it goes, why, where it works for us to spend a little more, where we should look at spending a little less. That's the purpose of the board. Now that sounds like no fun at all. But I want to tell you our board has fun. We have fun. Who else would come up with a pie auction? But it's a fundraiser. I happen to leave the D off. It's a fundraiser. The jewelry sale is a fundraiser. How many bazillions of dollars do we think we're going to make on the jewelry sale? I don't know. It's not like we have any exaggerated phantasmorical hopes. What we intend is to raise a little money and have fun doing it. So in case you didn't know about how Centers for Spiritual Living happen and how they grow and how they continue to grow, that's how. And as members of the Center for Spiritual Living, that is every day here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, you are all partial owners of the center. You're not just figureheads, which is why there are certain things that don't happen without everybody's vote. Do you understand how valuable you are to us for so many reasons? It's not just your generosity, although your generosity is important. My generosity is important. It's your ideas, it's your enthusiasm. It's because when every day shows up together, as we do on a Sunday, when we show up together on a Sunday, the energy that you feel in this room is you. Okay, so I had a little bit. But I want you to really catch, to really grab the importance that each of us plays in this center and its vitality. It doesn't happen without you. If the ushers would join me, please. such a blessed service you do for this center right here and now. By holding the sacred space for those intentions, whether they're monetary, energetic, whatever, I know that they are indeed heartfelt. I bless you, I thank you, and I know that you are the chalice for receiving our gift. If everyone would join me in saying our offering, please. The love of the Spirit blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive abundantly, and so it is. Oh my gosh, it is with such joy and gratitude that we give thanks, that we receive, and that we share these gifts. For what we know is that every single bit of intention, of money, of best wishes for the Everyday Center that is in these baskets and represented by their contents, what we know is that that is pushed down, multiplied, overflowing, and spread out to the world wherever we have responsibilities. That we take care of them with that attitude of gratitude. And so it is.
And so it is.
Do I usually do this? You do it. Because this, yeah. Okay, so what we do next, for those of you who haven't been here before, is we gather up. We make a circle or a shape or a thing. And if you don't feel like holding hands, then we have an alternative, which is to share a blessing. So it's left palm up, right palm down. Left palm up, right palm down. Somehow you will get connected. I know.
It's kind of a basketball thing. It's March Madness. It's happening.
It is. March Madness is happening right now. And so as we form this sacred space, we take in a nice deep breath. Fully receiving anything in this service, anything that happened, the music, the message, the reading, the 4 directions, the little sounds from Pippa, We fully receive anything that brought us joy, anything that reminded us of our value and importance, anything that was helpful. We take it in. And as we move around the circle, each person has an opportunity to speak out loud into the room one word. One word for themselves, for a loved one, for the community, for the world, as you choose. Denise, would you start, please?
Gratitude. Inspired. Love.
Gratitude.
Dancing.